Dara, and I'm back at the Taste of Love Tantra Festival in Byron Bay for the second day, and I'm just about to interview Caitlyn Cook. Caitlyn is a Tantra-inspired facilitator and writer, so welcome to you, Caitlyn.
Thank you.
So this morning you gave an introduction to the workshop that you were teaching this morning.
Yeah.
Sex, God and Cellulite.
Yeah.
Great title.
Thank you.
And in your introduction, you mentioned a statistic that I don't know, it kind of blew me away. I was shocked. When you said that 91% of women
are reported to dislike their body.
dislike it.
Yeah. Yeah. And the statistic is around 35 to 40% for men. That's in Australia. Yeah, and also for trans folk, genderqueer folk, body images can be a huge source of pain as well. So yeah, it's massive.
And so I was also really curious because you talked a little bit about how, like, why that statistic is important to you.
Yeah.
You mentioned your own personal experience.
Yeah.
Could you just talk to me a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So I realized how important the body was when I was actually making love with my boyfriend at the time. And he stopped me and was like, this something's a bit off right now. What's going on? And I realized that was a moment when I realized that I was just not in my body. I was kind of like watching myself from like the corner of the room, watching myself do this, look good, make the right sounds, make sure my belly looked good. And I wasn't there. I just wasn't there. And
was this full-blown like dissociation, or?
Yeah. Oh well, I mean, to a degree, you know. Yeah, I was dissociating from my body, and yes, I know. I realized that was the moment that I wasn't really there. I wasn't connected. I wasn't really experiencing everything that was possible for me with my person who I loved. I totally was minimizing my pleasure and my own experience of my body, and just making it all about them. And then thinking about where my body is in the rest of my life, the choices I make to go out with my friends, the food I want to eat, the places I want to travel to, how I feel at a job interview, all these things, my body has a role in that. And I realized that because I was always resisting my body, always trying to minimize it and escape it, I was never really there, never really present in the moment, never really bringing my full self, always just a little bit held back.
So why was that? Why do you think that was?
I just think being a woman in the contemporary world kind of sets you up to see yourself as an object before seeing what your body really does in terms of function and how it is a vehicle for you in your life. You're first looking at it, at what it looks like rather than what it can do. So I think just living in the contemporary world, I did model for a time as well, and that definitely, like, the way you look is very important in that as well. But despite all that, like, I studied this stuff at university. I was like feminist educated, psychology, philosophy, all of it. I knew it. Like, I knew about how media and porn worked to disempower and, you know, hold you up to these like these images of perfection, like, you know, I knew about that stuff. But even then, even still, as much as I didn't want to admit it, I was still part of that story. Yeah. It's somehow infused into me.
Yeah, well, it's a part of our embodiment. I think that the sort of socialization is so strong. And the sort of ancestral
It is. It's
memory of that is so strong.
Yeah.
So there was no particular sort of strong thing that happened in your history that made you kind of block off from your body?
Well, there was a moment actually. It was, and I didn't realize this until actually just a couple of years ago, when I was overseas, and it was the moment that I kind of broke up with God. I was a very strong Christian for a time in my teens, and then the moment that I kind of lost God, I, in retrospect, realized that I kind of started looking for something else to feel some sense of control and acceptance, and that everything was going to be okay, and I knew that I would be loved and exceptional and whatever. So that kind of turned into, well, I know that I can make my body beautiful, so if I can make my body beautiful, then maybe I can win affection that way. And so it was kind of like this moment that I lost my global sense of peace and acceptance with God. That was when I tried to start like searching for it in other places, like my body. So, and then it's been a journey to kind of fall in love with myself again, and to feel that sense of peace and acceptance with a broader sense of God. But really like finding that God, that goddess, the divine in my cells as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so actually coming back to the title of the workshop you gave,
Yeah.
what is the connection for you between sex, love and cellulite?
Oh, such a good question. Well, so the body is central to everything. The body is your vehicle for your connection to your beloved, to yourself, to the divine. So if you're always trying to escape your body and you're never willing to really be in your body, then you're never really able to totally connect with your partner, with yourself, or with the divine. So the body is the vehicle to all of these things. And the body is central to sexuality, sensuality. It's how you experience that stuff. And God is present in all of it. So if you want to, it's like they're all kind of avenues and doorways to each other. And I think the beautiful part of it is no matter where you are, like maybe you're really tight with God, but you really don't like your cellulite, or you really like love sexuality, but you're feeling really weird about God, or whatever, they all kind of open up into each other if you're just kind of aware enough and also inviting that in. So yeah.
So the cellulite bit is the bit that, I mean, I totally get the sex and God. The cellulite bit, I'm curious about why you put that in the title, because that's going to address a certain part of somebody's psyche.
Yeah. Okay, so cellulite is often a part, so it's the body. Cellulite is the body, just like your knees and your yoni and your nose and your hair is the body. So firstly, just thinking of it as non-judgment, just like the beginner's mind, I'm looking at you with total curiosity, not like, ew, gross, cellulite. So that's the first thing. However, people do have judgment around cellulite and those kind of unsightly parts of the body. And those parts of the body are also your incredible doorways to accessing your vulnerability. And the parts of you that you don't want to, that you want to hide the most, when you open those up, that's where ultimate intimacy lives. It's the part of you that you're afraid, oh, if I show that, but I don't know if I'm going to be accepted. And you show that, and you experience that acceptance and that ultimate surrender of like, oh my God, I'm okay. Like, I'm beautiful. I'm okay. That is powerful. So, so powerful. So that cellulite is, in a way, like it's gold, really. Like it takes a lot of bravery to be like, okay, I'm just gonna show someone this thing. But when you do, that's like, yeah, the shadow is never comfortable to show, but when you do, yeah, there's intimacy, there's surrender, there's acceptance. I think that's where oneness is. Your cellulite is an avenue for oneness.
I like that. I also get from what you're saying that you're using it as a metaphor for revealing the part of myself that I'm most afraid to show.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it might be my cellulite, it might be my chip tooth,
yeah.
It might be the part of my character that I really don't feel very proud about, the bit when I feel jealous and the bit when I feel afraid.
Yeah.
It's just a metaphor for the part of ourselves that we are scared to show because we're scared if we show it what we love.
Yeah.
And when we actually show it, we realise that can create more intimacy.
Absolutely.
And more truth.
Yeah.
More love.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's beautiful. Yeah.
You coined the phrase. So I bet there are loads of women who are going to look at you, right? And they'll watch this and say, well look, she's young, she's beautiful, she's smart, she's got it all going for her.
Yeah.
So it's easy for her to say that.
Yeah. I feel that. Yeah, I mean, I was on the cover of magazines. Like, I was the pinnacle of beauty, right? And it was when I was on the cover of magazines that I felt the most disgusting and worthless and shamed of all. And I remember that. I was like, I'm on the cover of this magazine. Like, surely I, of all people right now, should be feeling like comfortable about myself. And I wasn't, and I didn't for years. And before I reached that magazine moment, I thought that to feel comfortable in your body, if you just look that way, you would. And so I was always like working towards it since I was 12. And when I finally reached there and I still didn't feel beautiful, I felt worse. I was just like, what the fuck is going on? This is so weird and incredibly uncomfortable. So yeah, it was at that moment that I realized you can look however. You can look, like a supermodel, or you can look like, I don't know, a plus size model, or you can look like my mum who's 60 and, round. And you can feel fucking gorgeous and secure and at ease and in love, or you can feel really self-conscious, worthless, small, embarrassed. And yeah, so it was kind of my journey. And also, I mean, the other thing is I was a lot thinner then, and my body now even would have shocked me years ago. Yeah, I would have been really afraid.
She's stunning, guys. She's gorgeous.
So yeah, I mean, the mind can do funny things, and the stories that you tell yourself, and the kind of very narrow, key performance indicators that you can kind of keep for yourself. That to be beautiful, I need to have a waist that's this big, or my arm needs to be this round, or whatever. It's beauty is so much broader and unfolding than that. So yeah.
I love that you're sharing this because I work with women too, and so many women I come into contact with speak with judgment or a lack of love about their bodies, and feel that if only they could get their bodies to be a certain way, then everything would be alright.
Yeah.
If only I lost 2 stone or 3 pounds,
yeah,
then I'd get a boyfriend. If only I looked like this, then I'd get a better job. If only I looked this, then I could start running.
Yeah.
It's always that. So again, what would you say to a woman who's watching this, who's feeling overweight, who's feeling unattractive, who's, thinks that if she changes something about her appearance, then she'll suddenly get the guys?
Yeah. I'd say that it's really not about how you look. It's about how you feel and how in love you are with yourself, really. I think the most attractive, magnetic aspect of any person is how much they love themselves, how comfortable they can feel in their skin. And I know that there's people saying, well, I'll feel comfortable in my skin when I'm 2 pounds lighter. But I was 2 pounds lighter, and I was even more embarrassed and even more ashamed. And so it's taken putting on weight and eating more cake and enjoying yoga in a way that's not for athleticism, but it's for myself. It's for nurturing myself. So I would say, yeah, nurture. It's not nurture the body for what it wants, not what it should do and be like. Really, it's about falling in love with yourself. And that could be anything. It could be through yoga, it could be through dance, it could be through the fabric you wear, the lipstick you want to wear, the people you want to spend time with, the places you want to travel. It's endless.
What have you found in this journey that you've taken then, from that wake-up call that you had when you were making love with your boyfriend at the time, you had that realization, so you've obviously gone on the journey since then to now.
Yeah.
Facilitator, and you're bringing everything that you're passionate about, and you're incorporating your own history into it, which is wonderful. What have been some of the most useful tools or techniques that really helped you?
Yeah. Oh, there's a few. I mean, starting just with mindfulness meditation and just bringing that awareness to what's going on in your mind and what stories are being told. Observing them, and not necessarily, because I used to hear these stories and believe everything is truth with a capital T, and yeah, observing them is just a radio that's been turned on, and that's it. And then just listening to what they're saying, but not necessarily buying into it. I'd say that's number one. Dance has been huge, and moving beyond how we're molded to move, how we've seen to move in music videos and that kind of stuff. But really listening to music and letting your body guide, let your body tell you how it wants to move, and letting movement nourish your body as opposed to perform for someone else. Because so much of, I think, the body image stuff is about, it's a performance. It's like, I need this audience to have a particular reaction to me, and I'm going to do whatever I can to make that happen. But yeah, using dance as a way to come back into yourself and to really make love to yourself through movement. And then all the ISTA stuff as well. That's been amazing.
Done the ISTA training?
Yeah.
So that's
a few times.
For the people who've not watched it, has not heard of that before, it's the International School it's the International School of Templars.
Yeah.
So you've done the trainings?
Yeah, so week-long training where you explore your relationship to yourself in the first half and your relationship to others in the second. And yeah, you go through all sorts of emotional processing, which there is lots when it comes to body image work. About connecting with yourself rather than abandoning yourself and your desire and who you are, and it's really holding and nurturing and nourishing yourself so beautifully that I'd never experienced anything like that in my life. Yeah, so that's just been massive, and you learn tools that you take home with you, and I use them all the time now.
Just to wrap up, if you have one message like you'd love to put across to as many people in the world as you possibly could, what would that message be?
Well, what's coming through right now is to make love to yourself. Yeah. Heart, body, mind, soul, to make love to yourself.
And if people want to reach you to find out a bit more about what you do, how can they reach you?
So I've got a website, CaitlynCook.com, and also on Facebook, Caitlyn Cook, and Instagram as well. I'm a big Instagrammer. That's the Caitlyn Cook. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you so very much.
No, thank you. This has been so good. I love your questions.
I love your answers.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Join me again next time on Heart to Heart with me, Shakti Sundari.